such a thing could exist in the 21st century. He said, I like to use metaphors. I tell children that if you took all the DNA out of your body and lined it all up, it would go to the moon and back 8 times. And I went, how far away is the moon? And he just looked at me. Metaphors, children, they let you down. Because, yeah, you may just remember the metaphor and it's wrong. Anyway, right. I know that this next one is going to be, with all respect, Vivian, that was a great demo. On a brilliant pretext demo, which is the one I like. How can I hit my friend in the face? We'll talk about light. I think the next demo has an even bigger pretext, which is going to be revealed as we go through it. And absolutely, I salute this next act for coming up with this as a demo. So, ladies and gentlemen, are you ready to meet your fourth show for the first half? Would you please welcome to the stage the amazing Gemma Bale?
Hello. Well, the main reason I'm here today is to prove hundreds of teenagers wrong. So I do quite a lot of science communication at schools, and I always think I'm pretty funny, but they seem to disagree. So, yeah, so don't laugh. There's at least 4 jokes coming up. Oh, I need a little clickery thing. Yeah, so I am a medical physicist, which means I use physics, but in a hospital, which sometimes is a bit tricky because I'm incredibly squeamish, as you're going to find out soon. I use light to measure brain activity, which sounds a bit weird, but I'm going to show you a picture of me using light to measure my own brain activity. Oh, that's my name. So, oh, sorry, that's the day that I put too much mousse in my hair. This is me measuring my own brain activity. They're really badly designed probes. But yeah, so what I do is I use... actually, no, I'm going to ask you a question now. So, has anybody here ever severed an artery? Give me a cheer if you have. Is that a no? Okay, that's an, I was expecting a no. Does anyone want to come up and try? No. Okay, well, if you had, it might look like this. I barely could Google that. And if you compare it to blood from a donation, which is from a vein, you can really see the difference in the colour. And that's because of the oxygen in the blood. Sorry, I'm going to... a better picture. Yeah, so when oxygen binds to hemoglobin in blood, it changes its colour. And so it's pretty cool. We can just look at blood and we'll know how much oxygen is in it. And I was talking about measuring brain activity, and the brain's really interesting. And it actually consumes 20% of the oxygen that we breathe in, which is impressive because it's only got 2% of the body's weight. And neuroscientists and psychologists are really interested in how the brain is using oxygen, so you can do tests to see where the oxygen is being consumed and find out more about the brain. But people tend to have a problem with you scalping them to take pictures of the colour of their brain. So that's where the physicists come in. Yeah, so I'm actually going to prove it to you all now. So I'm hoping that most of you have smartphones in your pockets. If so, can you get them out, but quickly, because I'm on a timer. And hopefully you can all use an app that will give yourself a torch. Yeah, so can you turn your torches on? I've got a torch as well. Right. Amazing. Okay, don't point them at me. But if you put them into your hand, you might be able to see, it's quite dark in here, you'll be able to see that you can actually transmit light through your fingers. Yeah? If you look towards the base of your hands, the base of your fingers actually, you might be able to see some vessels. And then if you flip your hands over, you might be able to see some really, really small vessels. Yeah? It's pretty gross. Good. Right, you can put your phones away now.
That is cool.
Yeah, so I've just sort of proved to you that you can get light through your hands, and you probably haven't realised that you've just... Phones away! I can see you. Yeah, so yeah, you've just shone light through your hand, but you've also just shone light through your bone, because the red end of the light spectrum actually travels quite nicely through bone. So that means that we can get light through our skulls. what happens if you go a bit further into the spectrum? So if you go up to the infrared, which is the thing that changes the channel on your TV, then you can actually create some really cool pictures, like this, which is also really gross. In fact, actually, when I was Googling for these pictures, I came across a vain fetish website. There was quite a lot of selfies. These people are pretty vain. Okay, so if we want to know, if we want to get some information out of the brain, we've got to go through a few layers before then. This is actually my MRI scan. I'm quite proud of it. You can tell it's me because of my cute button nose, but also my horrendous amount of neck fat. So I'm actually gonna Photoshop that out. But yeah, so we want to get some light into the head. But first we've got to go through some scalp and skull. So I'm actually going to, because we're in a pub, I'm going to try and make a model of the brain. I'm going to be using some alcohol. In fact, can I have a member of the audience to come and stand and hold my alcohol for me? You, please? Sorry, what's your name?
Neil.
Neil, thank you. Okay, so Neil, you're going to hold my scalp and skull. So this is some ale. In the infrared spectrum, your scalp and your skull are absorbers. So this is light's traveling through, some of it's getting absorbed, but you can still see through it. Cool. Okay, and then we've got, then we've got the cerebrospinal fluid, which is a clear fluid, kind of like gin, or if you're more partial, some vodka. So we're going to put that into the skin. Awesome. Okay, and then finally we have the brain. The brain is a scatterer, so that means that light, it doesn't absorb too much, but you can't really see through it. It's cloudy, like Bailey's. And that's gone into the cerebrospinal fluid. Good. And then the most important thing is the blood. This is all oxygenated grenadine blood. So I'm going to pour that in. Cool. Okay. Oh, that's kind of... and then I'm going to... Hopefully there's a laser pointer on here. Nope. Oh. Yeah, so this is basically what I do. Can you see that? Does that go through? I haven't actually tried this. Yeah, but yeah. Yeah, and you can imagine if that you looked here, you might be able to get some reflection back from the brain, the blood inside the brain. And what you can do is you can build up an array all around the head, and get like a map of the oxygenation levels in the head, which is interesting for neuroscientists because they can start to give people stimulation, like a visual stimulation, and then look for the visual stimulation in the visual cortex. And I've got a video of that. So this is what hopefully the light will be doing. And here's the video. So the person will be watching this spinning disc, and you can see in the opposite hemisphere, the brain is activating. So that's all from me. And what it's left to do is, hang on. I'm going to try. Right. Cheers. Not that bad.
I am not. This smells like the vomit of someone who works in a sweet shop. It is distinctly unpleasant, and it looks. Oh. No. Well, honestly, if you stand it. Guys, you have no hold over me. Let me explain again how the whole compare-audience relationship works. I tell you what to do. You do not tell me what to do. Does anyone want to come and drink it on stage? Just for the fact that you'll get a little bit of Gemma's saliva in your mouth. And if you didn't get a Valentine's card, that's as good as it's going to get. Anyone? It's a lot to... I would do anything for love, but I won't do this. Yeah, right, fuck that. That was great. I like the fact that you did drink it at the end. That was what made it. Okay, good. Right, I've got to introduce another act. We all set up for the next...